Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another Queen Sugar review. Yeah. Your girl is multitasking, right? I am conditioning my hair. I have a small turkey breast in the oven, and I am also reviewing Queen Sugar for you all. Okay, all right. This episode of Queen Sugar, it's called Moving So Easily Through That Common Death. That is the name of this episode. But I also want us to, each episode going forward, to read the episodes in their entirety, in succession, so that we can really talk about what may or may not be going on with this season of Queen Sugar. If you give me a second, I am going to pull up the screenshots. Okay, so what we've had so far is if you could enter their dreaming and dream with them deeply, you would come back different to a different day, moving so easily through that common depth. Next episode is called Or Maybe Just Stay There, episode 6. But let's not jump ahead. Okay, let's talk about these common depths. All right, so the episode opens with Nova and Charlie and Ra all collectively around the table, kind of brainstorming about what is and what ifs, right? What is happening is that the bone that they found on Ra's land last episode, it has been taken to forensics, and they are going to see if those bones match any of the so-called family that says that Ernest Bordelon killed their relatives Lodi's many years ago. And, it's Nova that's on the phone and trying to get it all straight and just trying to figure out what the next steps are. And then she hangs up, and Charlie is sitting there and Ra is sitting there, and they start talking about what ifs, what if these bones come back this way? What if, the time frame that we've got to wait, to get these results about these bones extend out so long that it puts us in the deeper quagmire in terms of crops and getting crops and yielding crops and that type of thing. They've gotten a temporary stay for all the excavation and everything that they've done, but they still are in this limbo place until they get the results of these bones back. Okay, so that's really how the episode starts. We get to see Vi in Hollywood. Vi is stressing and eating because of what's going on at the farm. And Hollywood is there, and he is practicing throwing a ball up, but not really throwing it. Just how guys do with basketballs. And he's practicing for his play date with Gabriel. Because, him and Gabriel best friends. They best buds, right? We see where Vi takes a moment and she acknowledges that Hollywood's attitude, demeanor, and everything, energy is just a little bit better. It's a little bit happier, a little bit more jovial. And she attributes it all to his relationship with Gabriel. And she thanks him for accepting both Celine and Gabriel into his life, their life, this life, right? And he, of course, being the Hollywood we all know and love, says, hey, listen, I love you, so I love them. You're supporting them, I'm going to support them, right? He just kind of plays it off in this way. We never get to see, Hollywood get the full on, support from not just the family, not just Vi, but the family. We never get to see him in this place where he is really, really being celebrated, and he's acknowledging that celebration. He's embracing that celebration. He's absorbing it and then allowing it to mean something for him. He just, like with everything, he takes it. He's very, very PC about everything, and cordial and even keel, and he's just a compartmentalizer. He compartmentalizes, he packs it away, he tucks it away, he always has a stiff upper lip. And I don't know, I think it was My Twisted Life who kind of really opened my eyes to the fact that Hollywood is one of the best supporting actors in this show. And we've seen little glimpses here and there of him having his moment, but it is just, I want him to let this actor go. I want Omar to be released to do his thing. I would like to see a good, strong season of Hollywood just being, wonderful. And allowing himself to have that. Just saying. Let me just move forward. Y'all know what I get. So, Vi thanks him for his hospitality towards Celine and Gabriel. Later on, we see where Vi advises Darla. Darla comes over and she's got a care box for Darla. She's sending her just little snacks and little treats and stuff. She's carrying a baby, and so she's sending her some things to keep her healthy and strong and all of this stuff. Well, Darla comes over and she's got, some things going on, and Vi, you can see it on her. Vi is asking her, is this about the bone situation? It's going to work itself out. Don't let this worry you. She says, well, I just haven't been sleeping well, and don't let this bone situation worry you. She said, well, it's not just that, it's morning sickness. No, it's not just that. It's also the fact that I had this money. And Vi's like, and she was like, and I know this money can help. I want to contribute. I want to feel like I'm contributing. I have an opportunity to get this money. And Vi finishes the sentence for her, but Hollywood don't want you to use the money, right? It's too prideful. And she was like, yeah, but I did ask for the money already. And I got the money. And I just feel bad about keeping this from him. And Vi tells her, and I second it. It's how I was raised. A woman got to have her own. You got to have you a stash somewhere. Now, you got to have you a stash somewhere in case you need to run off. OFT. You know what I'm saying? And you got to have some money in case something jump off. You know what I'm saying? And you got to put some bail money down on some things. Okay? You got to have this money just in case. A ram in the bush. You got to have your ram in the bush, baby. Come on now. Come on. I support it. Vi said she got 2 accounts that Hollywood don't know about. That don't surprise me, Vi. You got a lot of secrets that Hollywood don't know about. But don't worry. Mm-hmm. Then we see later on where she has dinner with Celine and Gabriel and Hollywood. And Hollywood got a beautiful basketball for Gabriel. And Gabriel loves it and loves everything about it. Him and Hollywood can't even finish their dinner because they outside throwing the ball around and playing a little bit, and everything. Celine confides in her that she called that lawyer that Aunt Vi recommended, and they got the paperwork started. And you know, Celine, it seems very humble, you know, very humble, very salt of the earth type individual. Well, she shows a lot of appreciation for Vi, not just for the meal, but everything that they've done. The relationship that Hollywood has built with Gabriel, and how Gabriel is over the moon about Hollywood, and how that change in his attitude has meant all the world to them while they're over there in this little motel. And she also compliments Hollywood and Vi on their relationship. Now, when she did that, I was just like, they call it transference. I think that's what they call it, transference. When the patient falls in love with the doctor or the therapist, or in this case, a caregiver. That's what Vi is to her, a caregiver. And Hollywood has been a caregiver and a good, strong friend to Gabriel. And I feel like she may have a bit of transference in terms of feelings, because Vi has everything that she don't have outside of this child. A good, strong relationship, a man that loves her, supports her, and don't mollywop her. So I feel like this feels like a little bit of transference. Then we see where Vi talks with Hollywood about his newfound attitude, and his new energy, and this type of thing. And she lets him know everybody around them has the opportunity to have children, but you and I will not. I cannot give that to you. Are you still okay with that? And Hollywood says, Vi, legacy ain't always about having someone to carry your name. And he right about that. But at the same time, I don't understand why you taking in all these children, but you and Vi don't, to play with and send home, but you and Vi don't adopt. You and Vi could adopt. You and Vi could foster. But okay. Excuse me, you guys. So that is Vi and Hollywood. Let's talk about Prosper and Billy. Billy is really trying with her daddy. She done went and got a pastry. She done got a coffee maker. She doing all of these things to just kind of, I would say, please him. But I think she's doing all of this just so that he can say something kind. She just wants to see that she can do something that's okay with him and everything he's shooting down. She goes and gets these muffins, and the place she gets the muffins from, apparently when she was 6 years old, she helped herself to a donut hole. And he called it shoplifting. And she said, well, Daddy, it wasn't really shoplifting. He was like, no. What was it that you stole? Now, I can't remember. And I could feel every moment of this, because if my mama or daddy did me like this, I would be like, you know what? I ain't got to put up with this. I can go to my house. I ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, just negative. Not only does it weigh you down, but the people that you want to be the most proudest of you are your parents. I think, especially in this case, to at the very least in this case, she wants her dad to be proud of her. He just ain't got no budge in it. And we see where he goes down to, with Ra, he goes down to the real spot. And we get to see the back of his head real good when he go down here, child. And I just don't see it. I don't see where you have had a major crack in your skull. I don't see it. I don't see where it could possibly have happened. He seemed fine to me, except he walking with a cane now. And everybody keep referencing it. But, yeah. Okay. And, he asked about Vi. Now, Vi done brought him some food over there because he swear Billy can't cook. Now, Where Vi at? Oh, she over here. She doing fine. He tell Hollywood that he proud of what he's doing there, the real spot and how, it looks and everything and all of this stuff. It's a very brief moment before he get into is Vi mad at me. So I'm just like, oh, what? What did you do to Vi? I mean, you the only one that Vi ain't mad at. And Hollywood says the same thing. Okay, apparently when she came over to bring the food, we don't see none of this. He's just telling us. Apparently when she came over to bring the food, she wanted to go in on Billy, and he took up for Billy, and she got mad about that. And he wanted to know if she upset with him because he took up for Billy. Okay, y'all still think it ain't a dream. All right, it's fine. And then he talks a little bit about how he's struggling with his relationship with Billy and making it work. And it's this touch and go type place. It's this touch and go type place because you ain't ready to let go, Prosper. And we all love Prosper. But listen, until the day you leave this earth, you're going to be learning. You is never, ever going to get too old to learn and to grow and to change. Always remember that. If you stagnant, it's because you want to be stuck and you want to be stagnant. If your relationship with your daughter is not a good fit, what role do you play in that? That go for all of us. 8, 18, 80, 108. You're going to always, as long as you breathing, going to have to be open to changing and growing and learning, apologizing and accountability. Okay. So there's that moment, and then Billy goes over to see Nova, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But at that moment, I put a question at the top of my page, okay? And I said, okay, what impact does Billy have on this season? What impact? So we just 5 episodes in. What impact has Billy really had on this season? We only just now getting to see her and Prosper interacting at all. This whole thing with Jimmy Dale and all that, it can't have been that important because you still ain't been over to see Vi. You still ain't been over to talk to Vi about the situation. Okay. But in this moment, when Prosper comes in and Billy has cleaned the house, squeaky clean, pine sol, baby. I'm talking about clean. He compliments her on the cleaning. He is hesitant and he's nervous and he's not really sure how to start it and how to do it. And he turns to leave for a second. And she thinks it's just going to be, she's not even receiving that he's trying because she's been rejected so much up until this point. That when he turns around and he says, listen, I was wrong. You've always danced to the beat of your own drum. Okay. And I've tried to hold you to my standards. I've tried to put you in my box. Okay. And that was wrong of me. Okay. I'm proud of you. And I appreciate you coming down here and everything that you've done for me. And she said, Daddy, I love you so much. And he said, I know, I'm sorry. I just didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to accept it. And he said, but I love you too. I love you too so much. And they hug. And I said to myself, if she didn't do nothing else, for us to have this moment, for Prosper to have this moment, and for her to be receptive of this moment so that he can make amends, if she don't do nothing else, that's something. This opportunity for him to make amends, whether he is doing it in real time or whether he's doing out of his spirit in a coma, whatever. Okay, for him to have done it is the reason why she's here, is the impact, the level of impact that she had on this season, because it gave Prosper this opportunity. Okay, and we all need to have these opportunities and take advantage of these opportunities before we leave this earth. Okay. Ooh, everything bad that happened to you ain't bad for you. Come on now. Come on. All right, let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about Charlie, child. Michael comes home for lunch and she's been worrying, child. She worried about this whole Davis situation. She says she worried about this FDA lawsuit. She says she worried about these whole bones in the yard situation. She's been worried. And he said, you're trying to take control. And she was like, yeah, release the control, mama. Release the control. And he comes around the sofa and sits down and talks about his own anxiety. Okay, and his own need to control the situation around him as this world keeps turning and changing, and he keeps growing and changing himself. He's got to realize that he is only in control of himself. And she says, I'm so proud of you. And she's proud of his self-evaluation, right? Okay, we also see where she brings Vi some pastry samples after she done been over to Nova's. Her and Nova had a night of drinking, but we're going to talk about that. And she done made some croissants, child, which Vi thinks are cupcakes. And she claims she wants Vi to just sample and get her some feedback. Well, Vi told her that them cupcakes was so dry, but they croissants. And Vi was like, exactly. That was a funny moment. But she's really there to talk about everything that's going on with this public scrutiny ever since she's come out about Davis. And it's this weak, mealy mouth. We have not seen Charlie be Charlie, have we? We've seen her be pre-season 1, episode 1 Charlie. Okay? Public relations Charlie. We've seen newfound political Charlie, but we have not seen Charlie. Why is Nova making phone calls around there to the courthouse trying to figure out what's going on and getting orders and stays of orders? And you a doggone public figure in St. Joe. She's sitting there waiting on Nova to fill her in. Now you're scared. You're so scared about what the public is saying about you. You got more concern about this right here than you did when the man was around there sprinkling peed all over everything against people's will and with their consent. Now I'm just so worried about. And Vi gave her good advice. Stop inviting people into your situation and wanting them to feel the same way about the situation that you feel about it. When you invite them in, you invite their comments in. Don't invite, and there in turn, you may be inviting trouble in. Don't invite trouble in. Did I ask you about Hollywood, what you thought about Hollywood? Charlie was like, no. She said, you know why? Because I know how I felt about it. I know what he meant to me, and that was all that mattered to me. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, Vi, I like it. It was okay. Now, we're gonna talk a little bit about Micah, and then we're gonna go right on into Nova. Micah, his friend come in, PL. Y'all know that stand for pink lips. PL come in and want to know how the meditation going. Well, he comes in under the guise of getting his meal card. I was like, listen, I done left enough bras and panties enough places. You know what I'm saying? I know what an excuse to get back into somebody's space or to call them or to talk to them again look like. And this meal card situation is just an excuse to see Michael. You're not fooling me, PL. You're not fooling me at all. Okay? He asked him about the meditation. Are you meditating? How's that coming? Michael's like, it's so, but I'm trying. He notices Michael's pictures. Michael tells where the pictures came from. Oh, I didn't know you did photos. Photographer, this is really beautiful work. I need to get some photos of myself to do such and such and such. I was like, oh, Lord, this little boy is sure enough gay. He's sure enough gay. You just trying to find reasons and ways to keep interacting with Micah. You like Micah. You like him. Okay? You trying to be in Micah's space. You trying to ease Micah in to who you are. Okay? I think eventually he's going to tell him. I think eventually he will tell him. He want Micah to take pictures of him. He's nervous. He clearly likes Micah too. He's nervous, and Michael's like, we don't take pictures in here. We got to take it out there. You know, they got a good repertoire. So then we see where he comes and his friend is deep in thought and deep thinking. I almost felt like he was probably at the window and he saw Michael walking up, and then he ran back to that sofa and put his head down and was sulking, waiting for Michael to say, "What's wrong, my friend?" So he could be like, "It's my test." "What about your test? How did you do on your test?" "Well, I don't know. I mean, I just didn't study." And he ain't even got the results. You just trying to solicit sympathy and empathy for Micah. You like Micah. You got a crush on Micah, boo. We can all see it. Michael said, "Well, cheer up. Let's go have some tacos." And he said, "Thank you so much for all the support you've given me. And listen, if you ever need a friend, it's Micah. Please feel free to come talk to me, okay? You know, I want to support you like you supported me." And the guy was like, "Oh, man. Thank you so much. That means so much." And he goes and embraces Michael. You know, a good little embrace, right? And when he embraces, there's two dudes behind him that's going in a room. And they look and they see him hugging Michael, and they like, now, we could say they looking crazy because they ain't never seen nobody hug before, two dudes hug before. Maybe it's weird to them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black males don't have the experience of this male on male support and intimacy. And not really intimacy, but what's the word I'm looking for? Just showing love and compassion for one another. A hug, you know what I'm saying? You know, my brothers kiss my daddy on the cheek. They hug him and kiss him on the cheek, and vice versa. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that experience. So maybe they was looking for that reason. Or maybe they was looking for another reason. Like, you done picked another one? Huh? You stalking another one? What you up to now? Or maybe they gay. And they like, "Oh, you got somebody? You finding you up on, you pushing up on this dude? This you, bro? This you?" I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that look. But listen, it was a look. And he recognized the look. And he looked like he had been caught. He looked like it kind of threw him off a little bit. Like he wasn't meaning for that to be seen by other people. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's talk about Ra. Darla expresses her fear to Ra, and she expresses she's stressed out. And Ra just smooths it over. He tells her that he's got pickup work that he's doing with Theo. She was like, "Theo, that prison Theo?" He was like, "Well, I used to be prison Ra." And she was like, "Uh-huh." And he was like, "Just a little work, you know what I'm saying? A little yang. And she was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Don't worry, I got you. I told you it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. You know what you wishing and hoping and wishing, and it don't work. The bill people don't take that. The payday people is not accepting wishes and hopes. Ra, you need to." Last season we was like, rah. He has really grown up. And this season, I'm just like, what is it? This got to be a dream. Rah, you have regressed so far from last season. How is this possible? How? We talking about the pandemic, but we ain't talking about, now maybe Rod don't want her. My Twisted Life of Poetry and TV said, "Why isn't Darla on WIC?" Rod may not want her on WIC. He may not want her on no type of public assistance. If he don't want her to take money, then she just got sitting somewhere waiting on her, you know what I'm saying, to put the code in and get it out. He surely don't want her to get public assistance, but both of y'all should be getting unemployment. Darla should be working from home. Come on now. Y'all addressing the pandemic, aren't you? You should have got some PPE money from somewhere. You had a staff. We addressing the pandemic. All of these were residuals from the pandemic. I ain't heard nothing about that $1,400. That, you know what I'm saying? The stimulus money. But y'all addressing the pandemic. Whatever. Anyway, I'm pissed at Ra. But I'm going to try to keep it in the road. Then, Ra meets up with his boy, and the ex-con gets in the car with a cigar. I was like, you know what, you got a real feel about you. You feel real oppish to me. You feeling like a CI. You know what I'm saying? An informant. Okay, you giving me informant tease. I'm just saying. Okay, and Rod tell him he don't want to do it. He can't believe he's thinking about doing. And the guy was like, listen, easy money. Tell you what, I'm going to give you my share. Part of my share of the money that I'm supposed to be getting tonight. And you can keep that on top of your share. And that'll just reassure you. And then he gives Rod this wad of money, which Rod takes. Now, you won't take money from the government, even though you've been paying taxes and putting into that money. You won't let your wife do it, even though she's paid and her family's paid and your family's paid into that system. You won't let her do that. Okay? But here's an ex-con. Okay? Man, me and you go back like babies and pacifiers. Ninja, I don't know you. You've been in jail. I don't know what you did to get out of jail either. But he gonna take a wad of money from this dude. I was like, Ralph Angel, you idiot. You dummy. You dummy. You suspect the Landrys of poisoning your land and being behind all that digging up of your land. But you don't have side eye for this dude. You don't realize that you come this far. You know what I'm saying? Perseverance and faith. But you're going to let this man come and die. You doing, listen. You got so much riding on this stupid decision, but you don't think that through. Later on, we see Rob in the car and he praying and asking the Lord for some grace and some mercy so that he can go out here and do wrong and steal. Stolen money go through your hands like that. You can't hold on to stolen money. Fast money goes away fast. I'm telling you. What God blesses you with has longevity. It has sustenance. It will sustain you. This what you doing, Ra. Come on now. He crying and we supposed to get emotional with you. No, I'm not. Because you ain't got to do none of this. You ain't got to do none of this. You got a sister with more money than she know what to do with. You rather steal and get caught on camera somewhere. And you've been caught on camera, boo. Trust me, you've been caught on camera. Them people ain't got all that stuff in there and they ain't got no cameras. Ain't no cameras on the buildings around this building. You ain't this dumb, Ra. You ain't this dumb. You being written as dumb, but you ain't this dumb. It's got to be a dream, right? It's got to be a dream. Okay, they go and steal, the guy pull up and it's a change of plans. The dude that was going to help him load up the van, all Rod was supposed to do was drive. He can't come. So he need Rod to help him load up. So now you got to get out of the vehicle and physically touch this stuff and load it in. And he nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. He think he hears something. Ain't nobody out here but our black A's. This what the man tell him. And them cameras. Load it up, give him his money. He tell the man say next week you'll see even easier. And Ross say it won't be no next week. But then he take that money. Listen. They get some good news about these bones in this land in the meantime, but we're going to talk about that. He takes the fact that he has gotten away. Now, when he was pulling off, the police was pulling up behind him, but they went on around him. They turned their lights on for somebody else and not for him. He take a deep breath and go on home. Then he get this good news about these bone situation. And then what does he do with having escaped being immediately locked up? And what does he do with having overcome this what seemed to be this horrible discovery on his daddy's land, which would have destroyed him, the ownership of the land, as well as his father's legacy. Okay. He overcomes that speed bump. What does he do with all of this? Instead of him getting somewhere and getting quiet and getting still and paying all them bills off, okay, what does he do? He decides he gonna take Dollar on a luxury 4-day bed and breakfast trip. I don't know what's going on with Dollar, but I would have told him, no, I'm not going. We're going to pay these bills off. We're going to pay for this doula. Because he was like, don't worry. I did a double shift. I got double paid. And next week, I'm going to do some more shifts. Working with the ex-con? Yeah, you're going to do a shift, all right. What you're going to do is a bid. A shift and a bid if you ain't careful. Ooh, Ralph Angel, I can't stand you right now. You going to take this money and spend it on and y'all got a house? Let's talk about Nova and then we're going to get out of here, child. Ooh, my nerves bad. My nerves bad. I don't know how I got through Raw without cussing, but let's do it. Okay, so Nova, she wants to make everything right now. Okay? She done called around there and shook it up, on the phone and got to stay. About digging up the land. Now she done went down to where they doing the forensic testing and trying to implore them to give her the test results. First of all, to speed it up and then get her the test results before they release it to the public. Waste of time. Okay. It was a useless scene. It was a completely useless scene. It tried to make Nova look like she was doing something. What is you doing? Dominic comes over with rolling papers and questions. I'm suspect of you too, Dominic. You got a lot of questions. You ask a lot of questions. I'm real suspect of you too, Dominic. Your fine self. We see when Charlie comes over and they have drinks and wine. They talk about Davis and her situation with Davis, blah, 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 and the bones. And what about the bones? And Charlie's like, I'm just trying to work through controlling everything. And that's why she got the bacon. Whatever. We get to see where Billy comes over and she lets Billy read her latest piece in True Papers. And Billy just commends her on what a beautiful job she did writing and also implores her to be careful because this kind of writing is walking heavy. And when you walk heavy like this, you got to watch your back. And then Billy apologizes to Nova for revealing to her daddy that she was gay, that she liked girls. And then it was this weird conversation where I really thought Billy was going to lean over and kiss Nova. That's how I know that this is Nova's dream. Because the energy that was happening there, it felt like they was about to kiss. I mean, was it me? Was it just me? When she started talking about how she compared all her other friends to Nova, and Nova was like, I did that too. That's nothing strange about that. I did that too. Except you bisexual, Nova. Y'all take everything personally. Y'all is super in touch with your feelings, child. So you giving Billy the thumbs up on that. I was just like, Nova? What is you doing, Nova? What is you doing? This is Prosper's daughter, which is like your sister. What is you doing? What is you doing? Okay. So, no one could ever feel your shoes, and your shoes are just so big, and you just mean so much to me, and I'm just so glad that we had this opportunity, and I just really, I was like, oh, kiss her already. Anyway, they hugged. It was a moment. This is when I wrote, what is Billy's real impact to this season? Like, why was Billy necessary? We know now why it was necessary. It was necessary for Billy to come in so that Prosper can clear his plate. You know what I'm saying? So he can clear his conscience, right? Anyway, then Dominic comes over again. No, before we get to that, we see where the family gathers and advise, and it's champagne. They toasting in champagne because it comes back that the bones that they found in the yard was 150 years old, from 150 years ago, right? So Ernest couldn't have done this thing. And so they're celebrating the restoration of Ernest's legacy and the fact that they really don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to digging up the Bordelon property. And Ralph Angel says quite astutely that he wonders whose bones they are. And Nova was like, I was like, Nova, you know about them bones? What you know about them bones, Nova? What you got going on with these bones, Nova? What is you hiding, Nova? You trying to write another book? You need to get your ish together too. I'm sick of you walking around here with all this old broke back, mealy mouth behavior. You are a force, Nova. What is going on with you this season? Why wouldn't you tell him? Why would you? Anyway. Dominic comes over after this child and he got more papers. First of all, if you know anything about rolling papers, and I do, a pack of rolling papers will last you for months. It's like 5,500 or something rolling papers. Like how many doobies is you rolling over there? He got to bring you. Now, so this is going to be his gift every time he come over, rolling papers. I just don't like it. I don't like this whole setup. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just smoking together. Y'all just chiefing together. I don't get it. I really don't. And you coming across a little weed headish to me. And if Dominic ain't if he ain't one of them boys, you know what I'm saying? If he ain't the ops, you coming across as weedish to him too, I'm sure. It ain't good. It ain't good for a woman to always be drunk and high when a man see her. She asked him about the bones, child. Help him. She trying to figure out about the bones. And she want him to help her with figuring out who these bones belong to. And he just so happened to possibly, maybe, he don't know, somebody at the college that can help him get these bones together and tell him where the bones came from and the origin and stuff of these bones. Okay. And he says, but it might take a while. She says, well, that's okay because I'm a patient person. He was like, well, I'm not. Maybe you can help me with that. And it's this coy moment, you know, this moment where she's like, oh, and he's like, and it was like, well, anyway, I'm going for a jog. Just clear my mind. Do you want to go for a jog? And she was like, yeah, too. And I would. That would be nice. A jog would be nice. And but you have to wait for me to get dressed. Now, you asked him to wait outside. You don't know this man. You finna go in your bedroom to get dressed. He already told you he a man that he not patient. But why am I talking like this? This is a dream. So let's just move forward. And she looks back over her shoulder as she goes in the bedroom like, she looked like she was nervous. She looked like she was scared. Like she wasn't sure if this is something she should embark upon. Either going for this run, indulging with this man, going back here and getting dressed with this man in her house. It was some type of trepidation. I just didn't get it. You know, what was that? And it wasn't her normal coyness. It wasn't her normal, you know, I like you, you like me kind of coy, shy, coquettish. It wasn't that at all. It was weird. And so, yeah, so, you know, he seems kind of nervous and shy and scared too. Like he, you know, scared to ask her out or testing the waters with her. I don't know. So it looks like each one of these characters are going through this whole common depth feeling, right? There's this common depth feeling, you know, moving so easily through that common depth. And we're just seeing where the characters, as they're interacting with one another and these outside characters or auxiliary characters, they're exploring these common depths. So I'm assuming that Micah has a common depth, whether it's known to him or not, with PL, and Nova's supposed to have this common depth with Dominic and Billy, and Charlie's supposed to have this common depth with herself, I guess. And Ra is supposed to have a common depth with who? The Khan? Darla? No? No? I don't know. Prosper and Billy, common depth. That's apparent. Vine Hollywood, this common depth, this juxtaposition between her not being able to do this one thing for him and him continuing to act as though it doesn't matter. Somehow I think it does, though. But at the end of the day, I think that they are going to end up with Gabriel as guardians of Gabriel. But I digress. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this episode. I'd love to hear it. Put it down below. What are some things that really just are grating your nerves about this season? Is it the Ross situation? You know what I mean? Is it this Nova, this bent back Nova that doesn't really seem to have the tenacity or the teeth that she did in previous seasons? Why is that bothering me so much? Why? I don't know. It's just teeing me off. And yeah, this is the first episode I've had an issue with Prosper too. Like the way Prosper was coming across, I was like, not cool, Prosper. Not cool at y'all at all. But y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. Listen, until next time, honeybees. I'll holler.